But Hank turned Barrington around that buoy just as easy as you please. Hank was very pleased with the job he had done. "Thank you for helping me move my first barge, Theodore." Theodore just shook his head at Hank and said, "But it was all wrong." Hank was surprised and a little bit hurt by what Theodore said. He thought he'd done a great job. The next morning at the work meeting, the dispatcher asked Theodore how Hank's barge moving was coming along. "Well," began Theodore, he pulls from the side." "Did Barrington say anything?" asked the dispatcher. "No," replied Theodore. "That's the trouble with Barrington. He never says anything. He's too quiet." "Yes, well," said the dispatcher. "Today, Pearl will be going along to see if Hank is ready to move barges by himself. It'll be like a test." "A test?" thought Theodore to himself. He didn't think that Hank was ready for a test at all. With a light breeze at their bows, Theodore and Hank set out to move Barrington. This time, Pearl, the pilot boat, was keeping a watchful eye. Barrington was waiting with another load of big, long tubes. "Hank," said Theodore, "could you please move Barrington the way I taught you?" "I don't think I can do it that way," whispered Hank. "But that's the right way to move barges," said Theodore. "And besides, Pearl will be watching." "Well, I guess so," said Hank finally, and went to button on the Barrington. Theodore was worrying so much about the test that he forgot to tell Hank to tuck in his anchor. "Now, let's see what you've taught Hank," called Pearl, as Hank headed out into the harbor with Barrington. This time, Hank was pulling from the front, just like Theodore did, but it didn't feel right to him. "Hank, tighten your line," shouted Theodore. But Hank was bobbing on the other end of the tow line like a yo-yo. "I don't think I can pull the front," called Hank. Sure enough, the next thing you knew, Barrington was bouncing over the waves like a bowl of jelly. The tugs were getting near Bedford Buoy. Emily was still trying to lift that buoy onto her deck. "I'll never do it," she said sadly. Theodore was reminding Hank how to turn. "You go this way," he said, "and Barrington will go the other way." "Well, which way is this way?" Hank asked. "That way," replied Theodore. "Oh," said Hank, "I thought you said this way." "No," called Theodore, "I did mean this way, except I meant the other this way. I mean, that way." Theodore's eyes began to spin around in his head, this way, that way, and sideways, too. Meanwhile, Hank began to go this way, and decided that he better go that way. "Look out!" cried Emily. Hank was heading straight for the buoy. Hank turned with all his might and just missed hitting the buoy. But Hank's dangling anchor caught on Bedford, and since Emily was still trying to lift Bedford, she was rocked from side to side, too. "Oh, sorry, Bedford," Emily called Hank. Barrington's big, long tubes were knocked all over his deck, and some fell right into the water. Well, Pearl, the pilot boat, headed back to report on Hank to the dispatcher, and she didn't look happy at all. Hank felt terrible about his mistakes. He was sure he'd failed the test. "I guess I'm not a very good barge mover after all," he said. "I guess I'm not a very good teacher after all. And I'm not a very good buoy lifter," said Emily. The tugs turned to Emily. "Every time I try and lift a buoy onto my deck," she said, "it rolls all over my railings and I can't catch it." "Oh, lifting buoys is easy," said Theodore. "You don't need to bring them up on your deck. Just tie them to your side and pull them to the shore that way." "I don't do it like that," replied Emily. "But I guess I could try," she said finally. And sure enough, when she tried the different way, it worked perfectly. I don't do it that way, said Emily. But your way works too. Thanks, Theodore. Theodore didn't answer. He was thinking about something. About different things, as a matter of fact. And about doing things differently. This way and that way. The dispatcher was waiting for Theodore and Hank when they returned to their dock. There are 2 barges to move this afternoon, he said. So I really need 2 tugs. But Pearl tells me that Hank isn't ready to move barges yet. Hank was still feeling very badly about having failed his barge moving test. So, I suppose you, Theodore, will have to move them both, concluded the dispatcher. For a moment, Theodore didn't say anything. He was thinking about the right way to move barges and about the right way of being a teacher. But most of all, he was thinking about his good friend, Hank. Finally, Theodore flowed towards the dispatcher and nervously cleared his throat. Excuse me, Mr. Dispatcher, sir? Yes, Theodore, said the dispatcher seriously. I think Hank is ready to move barges. Well, the dispatcher was quite surprised to hear this. Well, why do you think so, Theodore? He said. Hank doesn't move barges very well when he does it like me, replied Theodore. But he does do a good job when he does it his way. I see, said the dispatcher. And he was silent for a long, long moment. Hank looked at Theodore. Do you really think I do a good job moving barges? Said Hank. Well, said Theodore, I kind of like the way you turn. Well, said Hank, I kind of like the way you pull from the front. And so the 2 good friends set off to move barges. Just about the best thing a tug, or 2 tugs, can do, each in their own way. But today, Theodore and Hank are first-rate bargemen. And of course, they don't do things exactly the same way. But, like my friend Cat Bernard says, different strokes for different boats. Well, I'm off to the Harbor Master's Ball. Thanks for visiting us here in the Big Harbor.
You're cruising in the harbor with Theodore Tugboat, here on Cubo.